done yet? These people are waiting. Hello and welcome back to another Shatterpoint Spotlight. Today we have the Hello There squad.
Hello there.
Now, would you start us off?
Alright, we'll look at Obi Wan's card here. His first ability, Hello There, for 1 force. Delta hates this ability.
I do.
Every time I use it, one character in this unit may jump. Once again, jumps are good.
They are.
If it does, that character adds 3 dice to its next attack roll during its activation.
Would you look at that? I think this ability is overpowered, but that's my opinion.
I think it's awesome.
I hate playing against it.
Yeah, it's great. It's great because he has 7 for melee. You're adding 3, that's 10 dice. Pretty good.
That's too much.
You know, unless you're like me and you miss everything, then it doesn't really matter.
That is true.
Let's move on to the next one. So Uncivilized. This one also costs a force. When a character in this unit is targeted by a ranged attack, this unit may use this ability. This unit gains a hunker. After the attack is resolved, if the attack roll contained 1 or more miss results, the attacking unit suffers 3 damage.
It's like a deflect 2.0, pretty much.
I think it's pretty good too. It's just, you got to watch your force on everything, so it's kind of situational whether you want to use it or not.
Yep.
The next one, Patience. When you reveal this unit's order card, if you have an order card in reserve, you may put that card on the top or bottom of your order deck. If you do, put this unit's order card in reserve.
It does help out situationally. If you don't need them yet, you can put them away. It's not too big of a deal.
Well, I mean, you can kind of manipulate the deck a little bit.
A little bit.
Then, if you got, say you're playing with, I don't know why you use droids with Obi Wan, but say you got, whatever, Magna Guards or whatever, and you can't really use them for anything right now. You want to wait. You can just go ahead and stick it right on the bottom.
Yep.
So, kind of nice. Last one, Knowledge and Defense. Allied units do not lose their hunkers. That's awesome. When they become engaged and can have hunkers while they're engaged. When an Allied Galactic Republic unit has 1 or more hunkers, it adds 1 dice to its defense roll against melee attacks. After an attack targeting a character in the Allied Galactic Republic unit is resolved, that character's unit may remove all its hunkers. If it does, 1 character in the unit may heal for each hunker removed. Then each character that heals may dash.
Talk about writing a book. My goodness, that ability is so long.
Yeah.
But it is a very good ability. It does help out a lot.
I think the most that I like about it is just the first part of it. Being able to keep and gain hunkers while you're engaged. I think that's the best thing about it.
It helps out too much.
Getting rid of the hunkers to heal, that's good too, but I mainly like using just the first part of this is you can keep them and gain them while you're engaged. That's awesome.
Yeah, that helps out a lot. Let's take a look at his combat here. So typically, I've only used him once, and I didn't really do a whole lot of work. Karl was using quite a bit. And then we like to use the Form 4 Ataru side, which doesn't have a ranged ability, but it does get 6 dice for defense against ranged. His melee, on the other hand, has 7 dice for attack and 6 dice for defense. His expertise, starting with 1 expertise, you get 1 hit. 2 to 3, you get a crit and a hit. 4 or more, you get 2 crits, 2 crit hits, which is pretty good considering if you use Hello There. 3 extra dice, that's 10 dice. If you're not getting any crits or expertise off of that, you got something wrong.
Welcome to my world.
Yep. On the other hand, with his defense expertise, for 1 or 2 of them, you get a block and you get to change a crit to a fail. That's pretty powerful. Pretty powerful. Same thing with 3 or more, you get 2 blocks and change a crit to a fail. That's quite powerful as well.
Not as good as Dooku.
Yeah, I'll give you that. And like we've said in past videos, on average you get about 2 to 3 through on the combat tree, so we'll look at the first 3 on each path you can go. Starting with, you get a shove and 2 damage. Shoves are great in this game. Damage helps out too. Going to the top, we get an additional damage, and then we get a shove, 1 more damage. Like I said, shoves are great.
Yeah.
If we go to the bottom route, we start with a shove and 2 damage.
That's kind of the way I like to go when I use Obi Wan. I like going to the bottom side.
You also get a disarmed and a damage, and then an exposed and 2 damage.
And that's why getting that exposed, I think, is great.
Yep, that exposed helps out a lot when it comes to wounding characters to get them off points, gain momentum, all that kind of fun stuff. On his other side, his Form 3 Surisu, he still, once again, does not get a ranged attack. He gets 5 defense dice against range. He gets 5 attack dice and 6 defense dice against melee. This side has a little bit stronger melee, however, it gets a little less dice. His 1 to 2 expertise is 1 crit, 3 is 2 crits, 4 or more is 3 crits. His defense expertise is 1 to 2, you get 2 blocks, 3 or more, you get 2 blocks and a jump. Jumps come in handy a lot.
Yep.
In addition, we'll take a look at the tree here. He's got quite the paths you can go on this side. You start with all 3 of them gets 1 heal and 2 damage. You go top side, you get a strain and 2 damage, and then you get 2 heals. This, I think, is the more defensive side of him. I notice you don't use him as much this side.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys might. Let us know in the comments below if you do. Like I said before, 1 heal and 2 damage, a pinned and 2 damage, or 3 heals. 3 heals come in handy.
Yeah.
If
I just like.
Go ahead.
I like the shoves a lot. So like on this side, you're getting that pin, but if you can't shove them away from the point and pin them, I mean, you can pin them there, but if they're already on an objective, it'd be nice if you could shove them off, then pin them.
Right. And then for the final part that we could go, we get 1 heal and 2 damage, a pinned and 2 damage, and then a disarmed and 2 damage. Handing out a little bit of conditions left and right, but mostly this side is about being defensive and healing. That's what the Surisu is all about.
Yep.
As a grade letter, I'd say probably a B plus, A minus.
Yeah, I think Obi-Wan's really good, especially like with the clones. All the hunker stuff is nice.
Yep. It helps out a lot.
I like using him. I think he's one of the best primaries for the Republic.
Oh, yeah. I'd have to agree with that. He's quite maneuverable. He likes to hand out conditions, damage, and shoves. I think he's pretty good.
Yep.
Next, we'll take a look at CC-2224, otherwise known as Clone Commander Cody. Next up, we have CC-2224, otherwise known as Clone Commander Cody. With his tactic ability, we've got a big problem. At the start of this unit's activation, choose an enemy character that's within 5 that is contesting an active objective. The chosen character gains an exposed.
We do have a big problem.
We do.
Because this ability does not go off very often.
You. I've gotten a tour in our previous Chaos Boxes video, which you can see above here. And yeah, it's very, very situational. He has to be lined up just right. There has to be somebody contesting. But once it does hit, and it's a free exposed.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever gotten it to go off.
I don't think you have.
But you got him right in that middle point up top, where anybody that was around that area, you could just use it. So yeah. I don't know. I just can't ever get him in the right spot to make it go off.
Right. His active ability, defensive maneuver. Pay 1 force. Each character in this unit may dash. If any characters dash, this unit gains a hunker token. All of the clones have this ability.
Yeah.
And it's a very good ability. Granted, it does cost 1 force.
Yeah.
But it is great. You get a dash, you get the move, and you get a hunker token. With having Obi-Wan, you got to keep that hunker token if you get in melee with somebody.
Yeah. Especially at the beginning of the game when you're just gonna use this to dash to get a hunker. You're gonna move towards the objective, and then you're probably gonna take cover because you're not in range to shoot anybody yet. So you're getting 2 hunkers, and then you'll be able to keep those with Obi Wan.
Yep. Stacks on stacks.
Yeah.
Next is innate ability, Say Goodbye Clanker. Characters in this unit have Sharpshooter 2. When a character in this unit makes a melee or a ranged attack, target does not benefit from cover. Similar to Gar Saxon. It negates that cover, and he gets Sharpshooter 2. Taking a focus action, you get 3 dice right off the bat. Plus, they don't get to use their hunker tokens. So if you're going against an old one, hey, no cover there, buddy. I think that's a great ability in my opinion.
Yeah.
And finally, for his last innate ability, Bring It Down. When an allied clone trooper supporting unit or supporting character within 4 that has 1 or more hunker tokens makes a ranged attack as part of a combat action, it may reroll up to 2 of its fail results. That helps out in a lot of situations.
I've used that in one of our videos a couple times.
Yep.
Yeah. It works good. You just, I guess we kind of talked about in our other video that clones don't really have to stick together. It's mainly the Mandalorians, but in this instance, you kind of have to be a little bit close just to try to help you out a little bit.
Yep. Next up, let's move on to his combat.
All right, on his combat card, for range, he gets 6 dice. For range defense, he gets 4. I don't know, it's kind of average.
Yeah, I think for a secondary, that's pretty good. Plus,
Yeah.
he has the range 5.
Yeah, range 5, so yeah, at least it's not like Mandalorians where they're range 4.
Correct.
His melee, he gets 6 dice, and then melee defense is 4.
No, he's pretty decent either way.
Yeah.
He does like a little bit of a range, a little bit better than me. As you can see by his expertise charts.
So you go to expertise, so like his ranged 1 expertise is just a damage.
Yep.
I don't think that's great.
I don't think it's bad though. That could help out, if you're in a situation, like I said, you only get 2 to 3 on the tree. That could help you get that wound.
Yeah, just like I said before, like you want spots on the tree because it's going to give you more on the character rather than just a 1 damage. I mean, I guess if you're in a situation where you just need 1 and all you roll is an expertise, then I guess you got it.
Right.
That's pretty situational. 2 to 3, you're getting a crit and a damage. Crit's nice, but for rolling, say you roll 3 expertise, and all you're getting is a crit and a damage. That's 3 dice that you're just getting a crit.
Yeah, that is kind of disappointing.
Yeah. And then 4 plus is a crit and 2 damage. Be a little better if you could get maybe a crit, a hit, and a damage. Or even better if you get 2 crits and a damage. But can't get too crazy.
Yeah, got to be balanced somewhat.
Yeah. And then his melee, 1 expertise is just a hit. Not great. It's all right. 2 is a crit, and then 3 plus is a crit and a hit.
Which is, I'd say, at best.
Yeah. His defense expertise, 1 to 2 is a block. 3 plus is 2 blocks.
One thing I have noticed with a lot of clones, whether they're secondary or supporting, the clone armor isn't the best for them.
No. We'll look at the combat tree. First one, 2 damage right off the bat. And then the second one is a pinned and a damage. The pinned is good. And then you're probably going to go up top on the third one to get the shove. You get the shove and the damage. If you can get a pinned and a shove together, that's great.
It stops them from moving a lot of times.
Yeah. You can even get the next one, you get another shove.
Yep.
And 2 damage. If you're going down below on the third one, it's just 1 damage.
Yep.
I mean, if you can go 4, you can get a strained and a damage, but I think you're better off going for the shoves up top.
Especially if they're contesting an active objective.
Yeah.
For a grade letter, I'd have to say Cody, not trying to be punny or anything. I'd say a C, C minus.
Yeah. Yeah, C minus. Some people could probably go as low as a D.
Yep.
I don't know. I definitely don't think he's in the B range.
I'd say there are other units and secondary clones that are a little bit better.
Yeah.
Next up, we'll do the 212th clone unit. Clone troopers.
All right. Let's go over the 212. Put our card here. First ability is Defensive Maneuver. Play a force. Each character in this unit may dash. If any characters dash, they gain a hunker.
Good ability.
Yep. Go ahead, do Coordinated Fire. On this one, it's a pinned. When a character in another Allied Galactic Republic unit makes an attack as part of a combat action, 4 dice are rolled. This unit may use this ability. Targeted characters within 5 of a character in this unit. Target unit gains a pin.
I think pins are great in this game.
Yeah.
I think they help out tremendously. Stop your opponent from trying to move. And it forces them to kind of sometimes use up force to be able to move.
It's a good ability. I like all the coordinated fires.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that the supports are pretty squishy.
Yes, they are.
So once they get wounded, you're paying a force for it.
Yep.
So, I mean, then again, you have to watch out on your force. Do you want to use a force to do this? I mean, a pin, maybe.
Situational at that point.
Yeah. And then the last one, Brothers in Arms. While this unit has 1 or more hunkers, characters in this unit have Steadfast. I think that's pretty good.
I think that helps out a lot, especially when defending, contesting objectives. You want to keep control of that? You got a hunker? I'm not moving.
Some people that don't know Steadfast, explain.
Steadfast means that the first time on a combat tree that your opponent, who is attacking you, would shove you, they don't shove you. So, for instance, when we get on some of these combat trees, you'll see the shove icon. So you would treat that as it's not there.
Yep. You try to shove them and you can't do it.
Yep. Let's move on to the combat trees. For range, they have range 5, like most clone troopers do. They get a 6 dice range attack, 4 dice to defend against the range attack. However, they get only 4 dice for melee and 3 dice to defend against melee.
Not very good.
No, they can get hurt quite easily. Their ranged expertise: 1 is a damage, 2 to 3 is a damage and a crit, 4 or more is a crit and 2 damage. It's okay. Could be better, could be worse. Their melee is where they struggle. Their expertise: 1 or more. Doesn't matter. You can roll all of them as their expertise. You're only getting 1 hit. Their defense: 1 to 2, just like most clone armor, is 1 block. 3 or more is 2 blocks. And their tree is not so exciting.
Their combat tree and their expertise are not the greatest.
Yeah, they only get 4 spaces total for their combat tree.
I mean, go ahead. We'll talk about it.
For instance, the Mandalorian Super Commandos, they have quite an extensive tree for a support unit.
Yeah.
These guys got a whole lot going on, starting with a pin and a damage. Pins are good, but if you get all of your dice through, you're only getting 4 things going.
Yeah.
Next, you're going to get a shove and a damage, like we talked about earlier with Steadfast. If you were to get shoved, it doesn't happen. Next, you're getting exposed. Exposes are good. They're good. They help out a lot. And finally, you get 4 damage. At most. I mean, if you get some expertise through, you could wound a supporting unit.
I don't know. I mean, you're not getting a lot of spots for their combat tree, but I think their combat tree has all the good stuff on it.
Yep.
Like, if you can get all 4 through, you're doing a pin, you're doing a shove, you're doing exposed. I think those 3 are the best on a combat tree.
And then you're giving them 6 damage as well.
Yeah, so if you can get it all the way through, you're doing 6 damage, and you're pinning them, you're shoving them, and you're exposing them. I think it's a good tree. There's just not a lot of spots on it.
Yep.
And good luck getting all 4 on your tree.
Yes,
If for me, you're getting 1 or none. So maybe you guys can roll better. I know he can, but
I'd say for a grade letter, I'd probably put them in that C+ range.
yeah, they're not the worst clones,
But they're not the best.
We'll talk about the worst clones later.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're all right.
Anyway, thank you for watching, commenting, liking, subscribing, everything. Anything you guys do helps us. Don't forget to take a look at our community tab. We try to post a lot there. If you're on other social media things, sometimes we post on Reddit, Instagram, the likes. We also try to post some shorts once in a while here on YouTube. Other than that, thank you. This is the way.
Yep, this is the way. Keep supporting us. We'll keep putting out videos.
If you have anything you'd like to see, please leave it in the comments below. We'll get to it as soon as we can.
Thank you.
Thank you.